According to Hedges and Co., there are over 227 million registered drivers in the United States. Out of these drivers, about half are between the ages of 16 and 19. However, out of that 119 million, the 16 and 17-year-olds have twice the crash rate as the 18 and 19-year-olds, as reported by AAA. This is due to there being lax regulations on U.S. driver's licenses and young drivers who are not ready getting behind the wheel. Now, I myself can drive, and I know how challenging it can be at learning the rules of the road in such a short amount of time when you're so young and so many other things are going on in your life. It can be a very difficult thing. But putting these kids in the seat of a 1,000-pound bullet with nothing but adrenaline and curiosity is a dangerous ride to go on. That is why I believe the U.S. should enforce a more stringent rule base for getting your driver's license, requiring more hours, issuing a standardized test, and requiring other qualifications such as a basic first aid and CPR training to help reduce the number of fatalities among young drivers. How will this help? Just ask Germany. According to DW.com, the number of fatal accidents in Germany in 2018 was 3,275 as compared to the 38,000 in the U.S. reported by the Association for Safe International Road Travel. Now, you could say this is due to the difference in populations between Germany and the United States. However, the percentage of accidents was 0.0039% of the German population, whereas here in the US it was 0.12%. Now these are small percentages, but this small percentage is the leading cause of death in the US for people ages 1 to 54. So reducing this number will reduce the number of unnecessary deaths on our roads. But why is this number? If our number one killer of young people seems to be so low, then maybe the U.S. is doing its job correctly. But here's the issue with that. This number will continue to climb with the population, as reported by the National Highway for Traffic and Safety Administration. And the number of fatal accidents will continue to grow with this population growth. And these main causes aren't going to be fixed anytime soon. Inexperienced drivers, inconsistent driver requirements, and lack of awareness of the severity of how dangerous driving can be will only fuel these number of accidents up higher and higher. Now, this is also an issue because these people share the road with you. Now, yes, all of you are good drivers, I know, but the people who are about to get on the road, they may not be. They're inexperienced. They use the same roads as you. They will pass by you on the highway. And they're going to be all around you all the time. So if they're not driving safely, then they put you at risk as well. With this threat looming large, what's a good solution to the problem? We need to better prepare our new drivers to handle the dangers of the roads and to put them on a better track. I believe the solution should be standardizing the driving hours, making them higher than they already are, standardizing a test for the whole entire state of Colorado, so that way every single person is held up to the same standards on what they must know before they get behind the wheel, and also having every driver required to be CPR certified. Standardized tests would set every driver to the same standard. But right now, driving institutions get to make their own tests based on a very loose set of guidelines set in by the government. I think the government should come in and set every driving institution to the same standards so that every single driver is held to the same accountability. That way, if there's ever an issue, everyone knows who should be at fault and who shouldn't be, and who made the mistake here, because we're all held to the same standards. Standardizing driving hours is also another issue. Some driving institutions require twice as many driving hours as others. Requiring the government to force there to be higher driving hours before you get your license, as well as requiring more instructor hours, would not only decrease the number of fatal accidents, but it would increase the experience that drivers get before they get behind the wheel on their own and are left to their own devices. Finally, the CPR certification. Requiring drivers to be CPR certified is a twofold benefit. First, it makes them more aware and prepared for how serious driving is. This isn't some sort of lackadaisical thing that you can just take off. Being aware of the things that can happen through CPR training will show them how serious driving can be. Plus, a better equipped population that knows CPR is good in day-to-day life as well. Accidents happen all the time, and having a bigger population that knows CPR can help save lives. And now I can see the thousands of kids who are rolling their eyes complaining that we didn't have to meet these high standards. Why should they? It's because they've been shown to work. I mentioned the number of accidents in Germany earlier in the speech, and I did so to show that these solutions are working. According to the German way and more, Germany has some of the highest standards for getting your license. The number of hours required and the tests are some of the hardest tests to pass around the world. And this has caused Germany's accident rate to be so low. They also require you to pass the first aid training, like I had mentioned. And it's because they believe that not only should their citizens be aware of what they're getting into, but they should also be better equipped to handle their surroundings in a day-to-day life. These regulations have also come without the other solutions that the US have tried. Yes, Germany has speed limits, but one of its biggest and most popular highways, the Autobahn, has no speed limit at all. And yet Germany's accident rate still remains to be incredibly low because they focused on better drivers and not better rules. These solutions will cause a transition that may be a little painful and full of complaints, but like I said earlier, the US is facing a growing problem when it comes to automobile accidents, and it will continue to get worse if we neglect our future drivers and put the current drivers in more danger than necessary. Higher driving hours will give new drivers more experience before they get behind the wheel by themselves. More rigorous tests will hold everyone to the same standard and keep our new drivers sharper and more intelligent when they hit the road. And finally, having a CPR certified population not only makes driving safer, but it makes day-to-day life safer as well too. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking to get to work, or race home after school, or just cruising the highway blasting music, and none of us want that to take a horrific turn. Thank you.